pick up a rock, any rock. The one nearest to you right now. You are holding the oldest technology in human history. The same basic object that changed everything, that started wars, that ended species, that built civilizations and tore them down. And for most of history, nobody could agree on what it was originally for. Now we know. You're not going to like it. Part 1. The rock that started everything. 3.3 million years ago, long before our species existed, something picked up a rock and hit another rock with it, deliberately, repeatedly, until the second rock had a sharp edge. This is the Oldowan tool, the oldest known stone tool on Earth. Named after a site in Tanzania where they were first found in abundance. Simple, sharp, brutal in its effectiveness. For a long time, archaeologists assumed these tools were for one thing: food, cutting meat, scraping hides, processing the kill after a hunt. The assumption made sense. These were hungry creatures in a difficult world. Of course, the first tool was about eating. The assumption was wrong. Part 2. The problem with the food theory. Here is the issue with the food theory. The cut marks on animal bones from this period, the marks left by Oldowan tools, are consistent with food processing. Clean, deliberate, on the meatiest parts of the bone. That checks out, but then archaeologists found something else. Human bones, from the same period, with the same marks, same tool, same technique, same precise, deliberate cut marks. But not on animal bones, on each other. The food theory did not go away. It just got more complicated, and then the spears arrived. Part 3. The Schöningen spears. In 1994, in a coal mine in northern Germany, workers uncovered something. 8 wooden spears, 300,000 years old, perfectly preserved in the waterlogged soil. These are the oldest complete hunting weapons ever found. They are not crude. They are not accidental. They are engineered, balanced like a modern javelin, with the weight distributed toward the front tip for accuracy. Someone designed these. Someone understood physics well enough, 300,000 years ago, to apply it to a throwing weapon. The question archaeologists immediately asked, what were they for? The site gave the answer. Surrounding the spears, the bones of 20 horses, butchered, processed. The spears were hunting weapons used on large prey with sophisticated technique. This was settled. This was clear. This was the evidence everyone expected, and then someone looked at the tip of one of the spears more carefully. Part 4, the tip. One of the Schöningen spears had 2 sets of marks on its tip. The first set, animal bone residue, consistent with hunting. Expected. The second set, different. Traces of a different material. Not animal, not plant. The analysis of what that second material was took time. The results were not published loudly. They appeared in a journal, in technical language, without a press release. The second material was consistent with human tissue. The spear had been used on an animal, and it had also been used on something else. Part 5, the Petnen. This is not one spear. This is not one site. Across the archaeological record, from Oldowan tools in Tanzania to hand axes in Europe to spear tips in Germany, the pattern repeats. The first tools show evidence of food processing. They also show evidence of use on human targets. Almost always both. Almost always on the same tools. The weapons were not invented for hunting and then repurposed for violence. The evidence suggests both uses arrived together. The tool that cut the mammoth also, apparently, cut the rival. Archaeologists call it dual use, which is the most careful possible way of saying the first weapon was used for everything. Part 6, the part that changes the story. Here is what nobody tells you: the oldest known deliberate human injury, a wound that healed, meaning the person survived, is 1.6 million years old. It is a depression fracture on a skull. Blunt force. A rock, held in a hand, swung at a head. The person it happened to lived. Their skull healed around the fracture. They survived long enough for the bone to grow back, which means 2 things. First, someone hit them hard enough to fracture their skull with a rock 1.6 million years ago. Second, after that, their group kept them alive, fed them, protected them while they healed, carried them, probably, until they could walk again. The first weapon left the oldest known evidence of violence, and sitting right beside it in the same fossil, the oldest known evidence of care. Both things. At the same time, here is what we know. The first weapon was a rock, specifically shaped, deliberately made. It was used to process food. It was used to hunt. It was used in conflict. sometimes by the same hands on the same day. For all three purposes, the people who made it were not monsters. They were problem solvers. The rock solved problems, multiple kinds of problems. The rock did not distinguish between them. 3.3 million years of the same basic tool, still in use today, just refined, made of steel now, or carbon fiber, or enriched uranium. The shape changed. The purpose didn't. And somewhere in a museum in Germany, one of the Schöningen spears sits in a climate-controlled case, 300,000 years old, still sharp enough, technically, to do what it was made for. Both things it was made for. The label beside it reads, hunting weapon, which is one way to put it.